What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well. We got a small four gamer to talk through. Fire on any questions and thoughts while we go. Basically, for all of you who are premium members, my lineups are I posted them in the premium Discord, and they really haven't changed. I'm still waiting on obviously a very big piece of news with the Knicks whole situation is a very big piece of news because Mitchell Robinson and Jalen Brunson questionable means that we are going to have severe chalk if they are out. We will know before the first game. It is the first game, thank goodness. But that is going to open things up, and we're going to speculate. Like, yes, quickly is going to become a good play, but I also think that where we're looking for value, you could take some shots with Quentin Grimes. I mean, I think that's actually like not the worst play anyway. He made 6 threes in the last game. I don't expect that to happen again, but we're looking for value. I don't think that you're going to play him anyway, but like obviously RJ Barrett would open up. I mean, Julius Randle becomes like an unbelievable play. So I really think that's the most important thing to to note on the slate. Also, the Knicks, because they only have 8 games left and they're 2 games up on Brooklyn, and the back-to-back, I sort of lean that somebody's going to sit. I just don't know which one of the two. My guess would be Robinson if I had to pick, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And that means we will have Hartenstein chalk. I'm probably going to play him, but I also have some other plays to get a little different today that I think that people aren't really looking at. One of them I mentioned earlier in the video for those of you guys who watched. I think Karis LeVert is a really, really underrated play today. Like no one's playing him. You do have both guys back, and you've had some Garland and out and some Mitchell out at times. But he's still been over 30 in 4 straight games. They played in 2 of them. I think there is a ceiling here for him, and it's his former team in Brooklyn. He put up 31 against them the other day. Obviously, we'd be happy with that. He did make 3 of his 6 threes. And I think he's kind of an interesting, like maybe being overlooked play that maybe we can get a little used to get a little bit different. I also really, at the moment, love Shea and Kawhi. I just think that's a really good late night stack, and I don't think you're getting crazy ownership on it. Kawhi right now projected to be around 20%. Shea projected to be around 12%. I think those are really, really, really good plays that I'm sort of using to spend my money on. And that's all, of course, assuming that we don't get the Knicks news, because I probably will pivot over to more Knicks if we get that news, and maybe even force in some of the Orlando stuff. Cole Anthony is going to be crazy popular, which is partly why LeVert isn't this popular. So I'm playing them both together. I don't think that you're going to see that build very often. And sort of a similar role, but Anthony just has more of one and he's more consistent with it. But at the same time, like I just think this is a really good spot to try to take a shot with LeVert. I have Marcus Morris in some lineups right now, which I really didn't want to do. And I probably will try to get off of that, but that's just a little bit of an unfortunate value that I just kept ending up at that exact same spot at 4,700 and forward, and it was tough. Lou Dort, I have exposure to. Nick Richards, I like, but I think he's being overprojected. I don't mind pivoting away from that if you want to. That's totally cool with me. Jared Allen, I think, is a tremendous play on both sites. I like more Wendell Carter on FanDuel because it's easier to get him in the forward spot. I have a center in every one of my utilities right now, and including the guy I mentioned earlier, Jalen with a Y, Williams. You're going to have to make some uncomfortable plays at low ownership, and a starting center at 3,500 is worth taking a shot on, assuming, of course, that he does start. He only played 11 minutes in the last game. It's not the most exciting thing. He played 21 the game before that. But you're looking to try and find ways to get different with value on this slate, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I do have a Hartenstein, Jalen Williams lineup in some. Jalen Green season, I don't even know what that means, Rich. What are you talking about? What Jalen Green has anything to do with anything? I honestly don't understand that at all. Like, there's nobody named Jalen Green on the Knicks. I really would love some clarity on that one. I have no idea what that means. So let me know. Who? There's nobody on the Knicks named Williams either. I'm confused here, Rich. What Williams are we talking about here? I honestly don't even know which of that's referring to. The other Jalen Williams. That has nothing to do with the Knicks. What does Robinson being out have to do anything with Jalen Williams? That's the only thing I don't understand. Jalen Williams with a Y for OKC, but I don't understand if Robinson is out, what that has to do with anything, because that's a totally different game. So ignore that in chat. Doesn't make. I think there was something there that just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Westbrook's okay for me. I'm not trying to go out of my way to get it. No problem, Rich. It's cool. It happens to all of us. I just couldn't figure out what was happening. Getting Danny Westbrook. I think he's totally fine. I have him on FanDuel actually as like a play that I think makes a lot more sense because that middling range just builds itself out a lot easier. And I do think that's a lot where you'd want to be on FanDuel today. So like him a little better on FanDuel. Like straight up, I prefer Garland over him. So it's kind of hard for me to play him at a higher price. But I do think he's totally in play. I wouldn't say I'm not like eliminating him from my things. What's interesting is because of his projection, I actually think he's going to have some ownership, and I do like him. But just keep in mind there is a fluctuation in those minutes. They don't have to go to him. They have a lot of other guys they can use. Terrence Mann, Batum, they've obviously familiar with. They're going to play Plumlee and Zubac, I think, most of the minutes at center. Covington will get some minutes. Bones Highland is still there. He hasn't played for them, which is really weird. They went out and got him and then got Westbrook. I don't really understand that. But I just think it's interesting. They are short of guys tonight in general, but something about, I'd like to be overweight on Westbrook if I was going to play 150 because I'm not. I'm just not. He's not in my like single entry. Oh, he's in one. He's in one of my single entry builds. 46 projection does seem a little bit low. I don't think that it's Kawhi is. I mean, look, we've seen this before. I think that this Paul George thing, we're getting a lot of talk about it today because he's a significant player and he's not playing. But remember, a lot of these games Kawhi's played, Paul George hasn't played too. They've rotated them in and out of the lineup quite a few times. So it's not like we're seeing something we've never seen from the Clippers before. I don't think it's automatic that Kawhi gets 50 plus, but either way, I do like him. And I think it's very reasonable that he gets over 50, but I don't really care that the projection says 46. I think that's not even that far off. But it does make me think like, hey, maybe I want to play Julius Randle instead as a spend up. I still like Kawhi, but we'll see what happens with the Knicks information as we go. Guys, keep firing in questions and thoughts. It's a very small slate, so there's not a lot to go through. Sheets is not here today. Picked a good day to be gone because there's not a whole lot to talk about. But any other plays that you're thinking of that you want to sort of run through me, I'm happy to talk about. It's just hard to do with the Knicks until we get news on exactly who is playing, which I think is pretty standard, pretty straightforward. Yeah. So anybody else? I do have a little bit of Trey Mann in some lineups. I don't feel great about that one either. All the Clippers guys I feel very suspect about, and I'm still playing some of them, except for Kawhi. I don't feel that suspect about Kawhi, which is weird to say. He's like the guy we've been most suspect about for a while. But I think one of Mitchell or Garland, like I said earlier, is a good rule. If Brunson plays, I like Brunson, by the way, for what it's worth. And I think this information and if he's in, I don't think that many people are going to end up clicking that button because of the Q tag. And I don't think it has any impact. He'll play his minutes. When the Knicks play their guys, they're going to play their guys. It's simple as that. That's what they do. We know who Tibbs is. We know what he does. Gordon Hayward is fine. I'm actually trying to fade him because I think the ownership is too high. All of the Hornets, somebody's got to get there for the Hornets, right? Like they only have 10 guys. It's a pretty good pace matchup for them with the Pelicans. Their offense has been awful. Like they've been the worst offensive team by far since the All-Star break. But I think Hayward's fine. I don't know that I agree that his median score is 30. I think that it's closer to 20. Closer to 25. So I'm not buying the projections as much on Hayward. I do have some of them. He's a guy who fits some pieces for me, especially on FanDuel. But I'm not like excited about it. I'm actually really trying to be below the field on Hayward. Trying to be below the field on all of Charlotte, which is kind of tough, except for maybe Nick Richards. And even that one is kind of tough too, because like Nick Richards is projected 9 points higher than he was projecting his last game. I pointed out that was a huge mistake last time, but that we could see this game get ugly and these guys just like not get the run, and all of a sudden it becomes Dennis Smith, who I actually do like, Dennis Smith Jr. Because I think he'll have to play some of the blowout runs. They just don't have enough other guys to play it. It's not like they can just choose to rest, and they only have 5 bench guys available today. So those guys, a weird large field play would be Kai Jones or JT Thor. Again, playing sort of for a blowout angle. And you know, I'm not going to get to Svi, I don't think, but like I'm just not on the Hornets side of who I really like any of these guys. I mean, Rozier, fine. It's fine. It's not like an exciting play. Hayward, fine. Oubre at low ownership is kind of appealing to me, but I'm probably going to avoid that one as well because I like the other players in that price range a little better. So really, Richards is like the only Charlotte guy I'm overweight on. So I'm below the field on Hayward. I'm definitely going to have some of him. I'm really, really trying to keep it to be not that many. Just because I think that he's extremely volatile. There's a massive blowout risk. He'll be one of the first guys off the court if there's a blowout. All of those reasons. Rozier and everything, but hey, on these slates, anybody can be the answer. There's no don't play this guy on these kind of slates. It just doesn't work. Favorite stack would depends on what happens to the Knicks. I don't really know how to answer that question because it would be whatever the Knicks do. If anybody's out, and yeah, I'll probably stack those guys up and maybe run it back with one Orlando. You could stack and pray in Charlotte, New Orleans, but I'm not like trying to do that. I don't love the Brooklyn Nets side of things, so it's hard for me to get to that game stack. I think stacking is a funny term because like sometimes people think it means amount of players. I look at it as allocation of salary. And if you just look at it as allocation of salary, Dort, Shea, and Kawhi are in my biggest buy-in lineup right now. So I guess you could say that the Thunder Clippers would be the one that I would be looking to. And I think you got other plays. Both Jalen Williams are in play. Giddey, if you don't want to play those guys, and then Isaiah Joe off the bench who's been getting run. And it's just he hasn't had that really monstrous game with these guys, but one of these days he's going to. He's too active. He's a very, very good shooter, and he'll take a ton of them. If he makes like his first 2 or 3 threes, he might take like 15. Like he's that kind of a guy. So he's a really like interesting low end option. You also get the forward eligibility with him, which I like a little bit. Let's see what else we got. But yeah, I think that the Clip. I mean, it's going to be the Knicks and Magic if any of those guys are out. But if not, the Clippers right now are what I got. Let's see. We still don't have news on that, so I can't address it. I do want to point out to you guys. I did post some things in our in our Discord, and if you guys are interested in Stake Kings, I'm going to include the link right here. Let me just make sure I've got it. If anybody wants to try to get staked and everything, like, look, we can help you. We're partners with Stake Kings, and we can help get you set up. We've already got Oren going over there. I want my man Adam Perry to do it because I think he's a really good player, and I think you guys should take your shots at this. I included the instructions of what to do in the Discord, so you can check it out there. But I do think that it's really interesting to try to to maybe take a shot with see who stakes you. See if you get some action. It'll help you in a lot of ways. It'll help with the swings you have, but it'll also help with the rake, which we know is absurd in DFS. So if you're charging 1.1, you're basically eliminating the rake. That's a huge advantage. So I would suggest everybody who's interested definitely do this. And I'm going to attach the link in the Discord right now because you can definitely hedge yourself a little bit. You can sell whatever you want. You don't have to sell a huge portion of yourself. There's the thing right there. Make sure to click TrueDFS as a reference, as I pointed out in my instructions on the Discord. And let's make some money, guys. Let's get after it. I want to make some money. So I want you guys to do this. Looks like somebody just wrote me. Sorry. And guys, keep asking questions and popping them in there. I'll stay in there for a little bit longer, but I don't have a whole lot else to go over with my plays. I think I sort of went through everybody at length, what I'm doing, but I'm happy to talk to you about anything you guys are thinking, or maybe pointing out something you don't like that I said, or you did like. Either way, I'm happy to go through it with you guys. So I'm still waiting for you guys. right, let's see. Brunson is out. Okay, so let's wait. Let's give it a minute. Let's let it reload. Let's take a breath. We're going to be playing the Knicks now. Let's just give it a minute and get a little bit updated. Appreciate the thing. And Mitch is in, so that's interesting to know. Brandon Cruz asking about Nick Richards. Yeah, so I was big on Richards. Like the last game out, I said that his projection was a joke because they got smoked and they were playing at home, and there was no reason why he should have projected for 20 fantasy points. The fact that he's projecting for right around 30 today seems like an extreme correction, but it actually seems like the right correction to me. I don't think he's going to have 42 every day, but if any of these games that have been even remotely close, he's been over 30. Like any of them. Look at it. Like every game that he, the 33, 32, 42, 42. So if the game is remotely close, Nick Richards should have a pretty decent day. They also need him for size to match up with Joval, and they don't have a whole lot off the bench other than maybe they can throw Thor at him. So I am on board with Nick Richards today, but I don't think I'm not trying to play as if I have to play Nick Richards. I'm just, I have him on my list, to put it that way. Best value on FanDuel. It's going to be one of the Nick guys in a minute. I just don't have the updated projection. It's going to take a few minutes for that to kick in. So give me a minute on that. Let me do this. All right. And then definitely take a look at the State Kings things, guys. I really don't understand why more people don't do this. It's like it just there's really no risk to you at all in this situation. So the best FanDuel value, let's just go over there and see if they've started even updating any of these. It's going to take a little bit for these things to pop up. Let's see. From the Knicks, Grimes might be interesting. As of right now, there's not like a super value. Nobody I'm really trying to play as a value play. Josh Richardson, Isaiah Joe come to mind, but I'm not value is a strange word. I'm not really playing anybody that cheap. I think the only guy I had Richardson in my mock lineup, but that's probably going to change. Probably converted over to Grimes. I'm just kind of curious once we get the next starting lineup. I think we know what it's going to be, but you assume quickly Grimes, Barrett, Randall, Robinson, but it's going to be hard to ignore these Knicks guys without Jalen Brunson. Giddey or Russ, actually, interestingly enough, they're both in my first FanDuel build. So I think Giddey is probably, I think it's really close. I think that Russ is probably, I think I have Russ like a slightly better play. Yeah, I think Russ I have a slightly better than Giddey, but it's really close between those two. What other center options? I like every center option. I don't have any lineups that don't have centers in the utility. Jared Allen, Valanciunas, Richards, Robinson, Hartenstein, and Jalen Williams with a Y. Although that's probably going to change now that we're going to have some value from the Knicks. So that's what I've got for there. And I don't really have anything updating on the projections. I am going to tell you that the Knicks guys are going to pop like crazy. So you're gonna probably have to try to play at least two of them, probably. But maybe not on FanDuel. Maybe on FanDuel you only need one. I think Quickly is a great play. I'd much rather play Quickly than Gordon Hayward. There you go. Let's see. Any brackets still alive? Oh, yeah, MJ. So I played only like three things. And I'm currently in third place, but I'm the favorite probably to win. It's like a 100-person one. And that's my best one that I'm doing. I have Creighton in the Final Four with UCLA, Alabama, and who did I have in the other bracket? Oh, Houston. So that's Creighton is going to decide probably whether I win the tournament or not. And I do have UCLA winning that one, but I have the same one with Alabama winning it as one of them. So I guess that either way there, I've got a couple of outs, but that's I guess what's going to do it. How about you? Anybody else with some good brackets going? Is 3 Knicks too many? No is the answer to that question, and it's a very clear no. I actually think 3 Knicks seems good, and I like the idea of maybe trying to get an Orlando run back if you're able. That's where I would the way I'd be approaching that. All right, you need Texas. Brendan needs Texas, Alabama, Gonzaga to the Final Four. So I'm rooting against you, Brendan, because I'm a UCLA guy. So again, I actually tend to pull for Gonzaga, but we seem to meet you guys quite a bit. It's been frustrating. Thank Jalen Suggs for the half-court shot that prevented us from possibly winning a title. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely crazy. Yeah, the Arizona championship. I did have Arizona in the Final Four in one of my three, just to be honest. So Finney-Smith, it's fine as a flyer on this because of this slate. I think you can play some Finney-Smith. Am I excited about it? I am absolutely not excited about it. I think it's extremely volatile, but it's 39. It's a cheap play, and if he fits in, I think you can go for it, Wester. Definitely think that's an interesting thing to do. But guys, do check out the Stake King stuff, because we really want to make sure. And if anybody signs up, I'm here to help you. You're the perfect person to guide you. I've been doing this with them for years, and I really want people to check that out. I just think it's like such a great thing to offer people. I don't know why more people aren't doing it. Yeah, Barrett, absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to say no to any Knicks that are going to play. I'm just going to have different levels of interest in all of them. I'm still waiting for the projections to go, but like my favorites are going to be Quickly, Randall. Yeah, Quickly is going to probably be show up as the best play on the slate. It'll probably be the highest owned play on the slate too. Grimes, I'm going to get some exposure to. I think Quickly, Randall, then Barrett, then Grimes, but and then Robinson. All five of those guys are interesting to me, and I even like some Josh Hart. So and Hartenstein. So I have 7 Knicks, and I'm going to be rotating through most of them, probably using 2 per lineup, if not 3. And I also like the idea of maybe forcing in an Orlando run back, hoping it's close. Favorite Orlando run back is the obvious one is Cole Anthony. But I think that no one's going to play Wendell Carter because there's other good center options on DraftKings. They'll play him on FanDuel. I think Franz Wagner has looked good lately. I think that he would be an interesting run back. I think Paolo and Markelle Fultz both have ceilings where they're viable run backs as well. So I like the idea of trying to get 3 Knicks and one Orlando, possibly even 4 Knicks. I think that's even okay. Yeah, Josh Hart is not bad. Yeah, not at all. No, all of these guys are firmly in play. There's nobody I'm going to say no to on the Knicks. I just wouldn't play. I don't think I would play 4 without a run back, but I think even on this slate, you probably could. You probably could do it. It's just hard to get different doing that, I think. I'm going to play, I'm forcing LeVert in. So yes, he's worse than all these guys. LeVert is my play. He's my get different. You have to get different to win GPPs, much like Jimmy Butler, who won me the other GPP, which some idiotic reason I didn't listen to myself last night because I said this is the perfect game for Jimmy Butler. And of course he has his 62 fantasy points. This is the guy I'm using to try to get different, because that's now the name of the game. You're going to have a bunch of chalk that I like most of. I'm a little lower on the Charlotte side of it, but I mean the Knicks. I think you're going to have 7 Knicks in the top 15 of value plays. So you're going to have to play 2 of them, I think. And I think that maybe even that's too little. I think 4 or 5 is getting to be too much, unless you're running back with Orlando. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to have to rebuild my lineups and get out of here pretty soon, unfortunately. As we expected, Manuel Quickly is showing up as the best point per dollar play on the slate. Mitchell Robinson is still looking like a reasonable value. And then all of the other Knicks look like good value, not amazing. Quentin Grimes did play 29 minutes last night. You could say that goes one way or the other, but I think that there's like 3,400. I'll take the Quentin Grimes shot at 3,400. It's just a little frustrating because wide range of outcomes. Barrett's still there, and so is Hart. But I still think that getting some Quentin Grimes definitely makes a little bit of sense. Mobley and Allen together are okay. I'm certainly not trying to build that way, but they're totally fine on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I probably would do something different and not try to play them together. I think they're okay. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not way I'm building too much. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to building my lineups. If there's no questions or anything else, I'm going to jump over there. I also want to remind everybody, click the winning section. Every win you've had lately, show it up. We want to show you guys off a little bit and have that stuff featured on our page and get a little testimonial going and all the guys who have been doing well. I know that Adam Perry and Oren did it. I know Rody put his up there, and Sheets and I are going to do ours. So get your winnings in the winning section. Make sure you're following. Make sure if you want to get staked, and I really think you should consider it. that you do that fill that out, because this is your best chance. You're not going to have a better opportunity to get staked for DFS than we're giving you right here with Stake Kings. And I also want to remember for all sports bettors, everybody should download, while it's still free, the Better Takes app. It has helped me drastically as a bettor. Although my last 2 nights have sucked in NBA, I'm still over 63% ROI, 63% wins for the season. And that's not, I mean, that's just straight out. That factors in everything with the spreads and everything. And I attribute a lot of that to Better Takes. So I did include the Better Takes Discord in the chat here. Anyway, we appreciate all you guys very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I will be in premium Discord helping out our main subscribers, as we always do, up until each game locks as best I can. And let's get it today, guys. Let's make some money. I have a feeling we can do some things. As I mentioned, I'm going to stick with the Levert thing as my get weird play, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. I don't think there's any reason, like, if Levert has 15 fantasy points, no complaints for me. No complaints. You're not going to hear me whining. It's just, I'm taking a shot. I need to take a shot to get different. He's the one who makes the most sense to me. Jalen with the Y Williams, another one that makes some sense to me. The Magic are getting a little more ownership. I think that Wendell Carter would be another one you could use because he's going to be low owned at center. I think that I'm trying to find other guys to get different before I get out of here, just to maybe make it a little more appealing. Not really getting different with a lot of, I mean, like getting different with some teen ownership. I mean, Larry Nance has a chance to get there tonight. I actually really like Jonas Valanciunas. It would be, if you put like a Valanciunas and Wendell Carter lineup together, that's just not going to be duplicated that much. Somebody's going to have it, but like, I think that's a pretty interesting way to get a little different. So maybe that would be one other way you could get different. I also am curious where the ownership ends up on Kawhi and Shea now with Randall, who's going to take up a ton of the ownership. So I think those two guys, maybe not getting different, but those are going to be my core things. Everybody's into the Day'Ron Sharpe thing. I've heard a lot of talk about it today, and I don't know how many people are actually making this play. Why are we doing this? Because he played 19 minutes and had 42 fantasy points and was phenomenal point per minute in one game. Is that a good enough reason? He is a great point per minute guy. Day'Ron Sharpe might play like 6 minutes tonight. Day'Ron Sharpe may not play at all tonight. So I am not playing Day'Ron Sharpe, but I guess to answer the question is he's a guy who can get there while he's going to project poorly. And no one's playing him. I'm not playing him. But if you want to take a shot, yeah, he's another get different guy. He's just not mine. But if you want to take a shot, go ahead. I'm not thrilled with either of here Hartenstein, but I'm trying to get a little bit different on this slate. And I do see the path as being a little bit easier for Hartenstein. One, because they don't play with Mitrov a ton of minutes anyway. It's a back-to-back. And you have Orlando who plays pretty big. And then Day'Ron Sharpe is a better play than I'm giving him credit for, but I personally am not playing him. That's all I can answer. Anyway, appreciate you all very much. Let's make some money tonight. Make sure to, let me know if you have any questions or anything in the premium channel, and I'll be in there all night. Good luck to all you guys.